jobs walk to the people when they take care, when they take ownership, and when they are shining, and when they are not scared to put themselves out. So he started putting himself out on LinkedIn, sharing things, so I guided him through the process. And in 4 weeks, he was able to attract an opportunity which literally walked to him.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jennifer's Crossroad Conversations. So, our guest for today is a multi awardee game changer coach, a LinkedIn top voice personal coach, a 3 times TEDx speaker. She is featured on Forbes and Outlook. She is a best selling author, a mom, and a wife. Let's welcome Shilpa Kulshrestha. Hello, Shilpa. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Same here, Shilpa. I've been waiting the entire weekend for this day to speak to you. It's been about 2 years that I know you now, and
Yes.
yeah, this opportunity to work with you on this podcast, it's been super exciting. Waiting for this, and I've been following all your work, all your posts, your videos, and they're so inspiring. I said I have to get you on the podcast, and I can go on with all the songs of praise here, but let's turn the time to you. Let's kickstart these things by diving into how you got started into your field. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about your journey to becoming a multi award winning coach and a best selling author.
Absolutely. So somehow, when anybody asks this question, multi-award winning, I don't know what goes on inside me, because somehow it feels that the awards define me. And I would say yes, in the first 1.5 years of my career. But let me go further back from where I started. So a normal corporate professional with 16 years of career, worked for some really good brands, got them in my resume, and I thought I was sorted out for life, because I come from a background where, you know, because of my parents, I was told education is everything. And if you're well educated, you will conquer the world. So I started on that premise because that's all I knew, only to find 10 years, 11, 12 years into my journey that, you know, it was a good start, but it is not keeping me in my best zone. So at that point, I started noticing that the drive that I had, the fire in the belly that was there when I'd started my career, it was going down. And I was kind of, it was like going on and on. It was just like a hamster wheel. Every day I'll go to office, I will do
Mm,
something, what was expected. I'll come back home. My home was my happy space with my husband, with my girls. And I felt that somehow I was shying away from giving my best. Somehow I didn't had any urge. Somehow I didn't had, people who would push me. I didn't have that drive inside me as well. And it continued for about 5 years. Every day I brushed that feeling under the carpet, which told me that I'm not at my best. And it went on for 5, 6 years into my career, 5 years. And 2018, my company came and said, we are done with you, because even if you feel nobody's watching, people are watching you all the time in the corporate place. There's competition, there's politics. They actually want to spend their money on people who are giving their best, and I wasn't giving my best. So that was the time my position was made redundant, and I came out of the corporate. And I had two choices: either to take that big chunk of money, because I'd spent 9 years with my last company. They gave me good sum of money. um, Either to take that big money and join another company the usual way, or to just take a step back and
mm,
understand what happened to me. How did I stoop down to a level where my company had to come and say, Shilpa, done with you? How did
mm.
somebody reject me, because I'd never faced rejection before this? So at that point, Jennifer, I decided to do a deep dive within myself. What is it that I have started missing? What fell off that Shilpa that I used to know? And what had crept in the place? And during that deep dive, as I deconstructed who I had become over the years, and I started now designing myself again. I started seeing a very different Shilpa, and this Shilpa was not dependent on other people's giving her accolades. She was not dependent on other people saying that, you are super awesome. She was just flowing with herself. She was enjoying, she was having the ball of her time. And that gave me an idea. If I could, after slipping into mediocrity, if my
Mm,
coaches could help me get into this frame where I was feeling absolutely awesome about life, it felt like for the first time I was living it. There are so many people in the corporate who fall into the mediocre game at some point. They were high achievers, but they fall into it. And if no help is provided, they continue like that for retirement, until retirement, because
right.
mediocrity doesn't mean ultimate failure, just average game that you keep playing till the last day you're working. So I started helping them out to break
Mm,
away from that and to create careers where they would be really proud of. And
right.
that's what brings me here talking to you.
Yeah, I think that is something that a lot of people will resonate with. We just get into that hamster wheel of doing things, whether we were good or average in school, college, or wherever in life. But that drive somewhere somehow mellows down, or we keep performing a certain way and we don't try to step up. We are comfortable with where we are, and we just continue going with the flow, I would say. And only when there is a jolt, when there is a shaken up moment for us, that's when we self introspect and see where we are. And it takes courage for how you have defined your past, and you say you have taken the full ownership of where you stood and what went wrong. Quite often we see, people would blame the others. They would blame the team, blame managers, blame companies, that okay, they do not value me. But it takes guts to self introspect and see, okay, what did I miss out? They are pointing out something, but what could I have done better, and where do I move from here? So thank you for sharing the background to how you got here. Let me quickly ask you, in fact, let me speak about, the coaching industry now. It's been rising and expanding, and it's quite apparent a lot of people do not know much about the importance of coaching, let alone selecting the right coach, and who has the specific needs that would suit their needs. So, and I've seen there are coaches who put up quite fancy niches on their profile. And to be honest, sometimes it can be overwhelming for individuals to navigate this territory and this landscape. So maybe if you could shed some light on this coaching industry and the diverse niches that are available. Maybe some popular ones, because I know there's a whole bunch out there. Um, the diverse niches that are available, and some guidance on how individuals can effectively choose a coach that would align with their needs.
Absolutely. Look, the first thing I would say, coaching, it's not that people don't know about coaching, there's still a taboo associated
Mhm,
with that. Especially in India, I would say in the Western countries, people are fashionably taking it. People,
mhm,
like, I have clients across 18 countries, and I see the difference in which they act. Some people keep it hush hush, some people
mhm,
go and openly talk about it, and it's a matter of pride that I have done this and this has helped me scale up, and then they help other people. So culturally there's still a taboo associated with it, because it is considered that there's some problem with me. And I
mhm,
think if we just open ourselves a little bit more, if we open ourselves a little bit more and get into the habit of raising our hand up wherever we need help, you will see that this is a trait of the people who are super successful. This has been that no person had it all. No one. Even me, like today, I'm able to talk about my failures because I have conquered them. Maybe there are certain failures which I'm going currently, and I will not be brave enough to talk about it. So I know it's not easy. But if you see, no person had it all. They always held on to the hand of somebody who had done it before them. And that, paved their way to success. So first of all, coaching is an amazing thing. There's nothing wrong with coaching. In fact, the people who are highly ambitious, they go for it. I can tell you the super successful people, they always have something on the side like this, which is going on, which helps them raise their game, which brings speed in their career, which puts them into the speed lane, which the rest of the people don't have access to. So first of all, definitely everybody, I believe, I have a coach. I'm a coach. I have a coach. My daughters have a
Right,
coach. My husband has a coach.
right.
I strongly vouch for it because once you have a coach, you would see the benefit and you would see your speed, how different it is. So, firstly, open yourself up to the world of coaching. Now, the second thing is what kind of coach to choose depends upon what is the sore point in your life. Is it career? Is it leadership? Is it happiness? Is it relationships? Is it health? Different, there are different kinds of coaches. Or if you go to LinkedIn, you put the word coach and you'll see different kinds of niches, but broadly these are the ones.
Mhm.
Or a business coach, if somebody wants to open up business, see what is it that you want the maximum results in, and then you start researching on those coaches. Let's say you want a career coach, start looking for career coaches, watch them, see what is it that they share, see how much you align with them, and just go for the one that you align with. I would just say that go with the one that you align with, after doing one more thing, checking their results. you know what is it that they have created for other individuals, and
Mhm.
if you see that there is credibility there, they have created results, people have been benefiting from them, and you align with that coach, it is in the area that you want to work on, go for it. Go 100%. Just I would say surrender to the process, whatever that coach is. It doesn't matter where the coach is sitting in the world. If you align, if they have created results, surrender to their process and you will get the results.
Right. So now that you mentioned about that, so are there any red flags or warning signs that individuals should be aware of when they're searching for a specific niche or coach? Or basically, how do they discern, which coaches' services would be credible or less credible? Of course, on the internet, information is there, and you've said see what kind of work they've done. But are there any other ways that they can deep dive and do their research work to identify that okay, this coaching service or this coach is not just reputable but credible, and I should go with so and so person.
Right. So that's a very good question, Jennifer, because I have made some mistakes in the selection of my
Mhm.
coaches, and not at the best time in my life. So I'll build it on that. Look,
Mhm.
first you should see that the coach is not, the coach is not boasting only about the success, because that's only half story. So they should be equally comfortable talking about their success because they've created. It's
Mhm.
not something that they are doing by ego. It is something that they should be really proud of, that I have created these results. They should be comfortable to talk about their the results that they created, as well as the failures that they have been part of, right? So this is very important. So a balance has to be there. Secondly, it is important to see the results that they have created. So there are coaches, they have created amazing results in their own life. They're
Mhm.
really doing great. They're making a lot of money. They are, going to different countries. They have a lifestyle, and sometimes people, they get, it's like something, it's shiny world where they want to enter. Also, see if the person has is doing really well, have they created a similar lifestyle, similar results for the people that the person has worked for. That is really important, right? So this was a gap which I didn't know. Got I got attracted by what the coach was doing, and there's absolutely no, um, I mean the coach was really good, but the
Mhm.
results was not the capability of that person, right? So it is important to understand that what is the capability for themselves, plus for the other people that they work with.
Mhm. Okay, so now I'm actually itching to hear more about your specific niche and your expertise. So let's talk about murdering mediocrity, right? So when you say murdering mediocrity, you mean breaking free from the ordinary, from the average life, and creating an edge over others in your respective field, right? So how do you help clients do this?
How is a very big question, Jennifer. So, um, basically what I follow is what I did in my life, simple,
Mm-hmm.
a deep dive. So when people come to me, so I work with people who are in their mid-career professionals, people who have worked for at least 10, 12 years. So anywhere from 12 years to 25, 26 years. That is the, experience of people that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if they are looking for, usually why do we go for career coaching? We want certain results in our career. We want to
Right.
have a promotion. We want to find a job. We want to, double our salary. We want to have a brand in ourselves. We want to be visible. We want to fall
Right.
back in love with the career that, that we are
Mm-hmm.
currently following. We want to figure out our passions. Those kind of things are there. Mostly people that at that stage. Um, and for that, there's no shortcut.
Right.
Anybody can find a job. In the initial part of my, when I started as a coach, I would help people get a job, and it is very easy to find another job. You, you know, but what I help is to work at the roots, because if I just help them get the job, I'm not servicing them well, because whoever they are, like if I see them stuck in mediocrity, then they're
Mm-hmm.
carrying the same mediocre person to that higher level or to that new job or to a higher salary, which means more problems for them tomorrow. So what I work with is at the ground level to make sure that their foundation is rock solid, so that their behaviors, their patterns, their belief system, the relationships that they have, the sponsors
Mm-hmm.
that they create in the workplace, all that is sorted out so that they are operating in a landscape which sets them up for success. So basically that is what I do as a career coach. And I don't call myself a career coach, because all these areas require, inputs into other areas. So it is, I call myself a game changer coach, which is a combination of career coaching, life coaching. I don't think two are separate. We cannot separate it. Um,
Right.
it is a little bit of relationships and health and everything, so that the person is at the top of their energy, having rock solid relationships at home,
Right.
around in the workplace, in the market, so that you know success is all theirs. So they should
Right.
feel like a king or queen when they
Mm-hmm.
go out after that to conquer anything that they had their eyes on, and even more.
Right. That's so true because even if you're going for career consultation, uh, in the career path, you're not going to just teach, or they are not just going to want to learn how to navigate and grow. What are the techniques to do that? Because people come with certain kind of experiences and baggages along with them. They have a certain mindset, they have a certain perception, and that needs to be broken. That needs to be rewired at some point of time. So you truly said that a coach has to work with individuals, not just career related. They meet people, they need to work with a team, and the team would be diverse. Each individual has their own working style, so teaching them how to navigate relationships becomes very important in that case. That is really good input, Shilpa. And coming to that, you have 5 professional degrees: double graduate, a double postgraduate, a CA, CPA, and law. So we now know that you work with mid-career professionals, but considering your educational background, do you have clients mostly coming from these fields, or is it spread across other fields, domains, industries?
See, 90% of my clients are from technology, from IT, and from finance backgrounds. 90% of them. And I feel
Okay.
that I am best placed to serve them, because that has been my experience. Now,
Mhm.
having said that, I've also had people who are movie directors, people who are models, physios,
Mhm.
doctors, scientists. So I've had people from those diverse areas also as my clients. But I think the major forte, my sweet spot is
Mhm.
IT and finance.
Got it. Okay. Would you like to share maybe memorable success story of any mid-career professional that you've worked with, who has experienced significant transformation in their careers?
Absolutely. So I'll give example of something that happened just this Friday result, because it is fresh in my mind. So this woman was carrying a lot of baggages from the past, just like you said. They carry baggages from the past. Things have happened, they past failures, and it does impact us, because once it happens, it's like, okay, second time it happens, we notice it. Third time, it becomes our pattern, that I am not able to clear the interviews, or I cannot deal with the politics at the workplace.
Mm.
I'm too simple for that. Politics is not my cup of tea. Or I always end up attracting managers who never support me, or I'm always sidelined, or I
Mm.
always end up becoming the chotu guy at the workplace. Those kind of things. We have, we develop patterns in life. So this woman, she was carrying a lot of baggages, one from the childhood. There were things which happened in the childhood. Because of what has happened, failures, and how politics had pulled her down. Um, she was going through depression. Had Though depression is not my forte, because I'm not clinically certified to to deal with it, but
Right.
she had a counselor in the past, and her
Mhm.
depression had taken care of, and she was on pills. That's it, and everything was in
Mhm.
control from the depression side. But I saw that she was stuck in there, because I see a difference between counseling and coaching. Counseling is about getting it right to this point, making sure that everything, telling an individual everything is fine. Look, what has happened is there now. You are absolutely okay. But coaching is the only thing that propels the way forward. So she was at that
Mhm.
stage where she was out of it. She was doing fine, but she was stuck in that space. And because of what has happened in her professional workplace, lot of pressure, politics, she not being able to cope up, she had resigned from her job, and for the last 4 5 months she was without a job.
Mhm.
Pretty good company, I won't take the name of the company, but she was in that space, and she joined the program. And within a month of finishing my 6 week program, she knew what her passion was. She knew what is it that would be the purpose of her life. So she was glowing. I'm especially talking about this woman because she stood apart from everybody else. She was glowing. She got off her pills. She had amazing relationships at home. She started becoming visible. She started creating her brand, and within a month of that, she ended up getting a job, attracting a job. Just not only got the job, but negotiated, I would say, about 25% higher than what she was offered, with that level of
Wow.
confidence, right? And she's a
Yeah.
very humble, very soft spoken person. So with this example, what I also want to bring out is, you don't need to be aggressive. Like, there are different kinds of people. There are extroverts, there are
Right.
introverts. Like, I consider myself as a very, very calm. I don't have that, overbearing energy. Uh,
Mhm.
if you look at my husband, he's got this electrifying presence. I'm not a thunder and lightning material, but I come with that calmness, and I end up winning people with the same ease, right? So she has that kind of a presence where she speaks and people listen, and she speaks very softly. Still, she ended up creating the results. Still, she ended up, you know, I remember we were talking, and it was 6 or 7 things that shifted in our life in those 6 weeks plus a month. So
Mhm.
that was amazing. So this happens all the time, where you are stuck for 4 5 months in a certain failure. Things are not moving. You're going to interviews, you are not able to clear it. Again and again, failure is happening, and that becomes a pattern. You think that I cannot package myself, I cannot showcase myself, and it is difficult for me when there's somebody who is intimidating on the other lives. But once you go take yourself through this deep dive, everything shifts. Every single thing shifts in your life.
Right. Yeah, and I resonate with that so much because um, I myself have been through certain leadership programs, and um, I've done self introspection, but when we self introspect, we again see through our own lenses. We see through the experience that we have. If we are going to an interview and it doesn't work out, we try to analyze it as to what questions were asked, how did I respond, um, what could have gone wrong. But then, working with a coach, we don't just see those aspects. We would see what was holding us back in putting forth the best foot forward, doing our A game there. Those are some things which individuals may not look into when doing a self introspection, and only a coach can help you see those things. And a lot of times it happens, and it's like this Hindi phrase that it says, दूध का जला छाछ भी फूक फूक कर पीता है. So in the same way, with whatever past experiences people are coming, if some situation has happened with them in the past, they will approach a new situation in by keeping the past in the mind. That subconscious will always protect you, try to keep you in a safe zone. So that just happens unconsciously. But yeah, when a coach moves into your life, they help you see that, they help you identify those instances and consciously work towards walking through those, walking past those. So yeah, I totally
No,
resonate with.
I actually want to say that this is
Hmm.
really important what you just said, because a lot of times we are looking at resolving the problem from the same lens with which we created the problem, and it is
Right,
just not possible. It is just not possible. So when you get somebody else who has got experience dealing with various kinds of problems, like for example somebody as a coach, while
hmm,
you may see the trees in front of you, okay, this is the tree in front of me, the person can see the entire forest, because
right,
they have got that big picture view. And I believe the coach's biggest work is to understand how the person is. So it is like the solution may not be the same for Shilpa as it is for Jennifer or for
right,
somebody else, right? So because we are very different individuals, each one of us is different. So firstly, the coach has to understand who is this person, what are their strengths, what is it that they need to work on, and whether it is really important for them to work on that, or they just
right,
sharpen up their strengths, which is what I focus on quite a lot. Not worrying about you have to manage your weaknesses, but you cannot waste
right,
energy just filling up the gaps. So it is understanding the person and then helping them navigate through their
right,
territory, which is
right.
mostly people lose sight of because they cannot see the big picture, and that is what puts them into the speed lane.
Right. And I remember early on in my career when I began looking at things, I wanted to step up, and the first thing you would do is look at the successful ones or the ones who are making it big, or within your own team. If you see, you would try to replicate certain things, and as you said, each of us are different. The couple is extroverted, you said, and you're introverted. The same way, when I started looking around, I seen there were people who were extroverted or quite loud and quite vocal about things. You start thinking early on in your career, you do not know much, and then you think, okay, that is what works. And it is not your true nature. So even though you try to replicate that, you will not be able to sustain it for long, or you won't do it the right way. So just work with your strengths, however you are. Like, you're an introverted person, but you know how to tell the stories. You resonate with people based on the stories that you bring with you. You don't have to be animated, I would say. You don't have to be very animated to get the story out there, to get uh, the feelings out there, and to connect with people. It's so I think it's very important we just bring our strengths, work on our strengths, but be aware of our weakness, where and how to play that. And I think that should take care of it. Talking of, goals and the approaches, there's something called the SMART approach, the acronym SMART. And so one of the the letter in the acronym is M, which says measure. So how do you track and measure the progress of your clients, especially, in case of subjective areas like their personal growth, their mindset shifts?
Yeah. Again, a very good question. No one has ever asked me before, so this is awesome. Um, Look, the mindset growth is measured by the growth that you create in the outside world, right? How
Mhm,
do you deal with the things? Because what I've seen is mostly people get there, they just jump a little and they get one goal, and
mhm,
then they get it, and they, because they've carried the same, as we were talking about, they've carried the same self.
mhm,
uh, a little bit of setback comes, it is very difficult for them to progress from there. But if you've worked on the mindset, and that's why I feel that mindset is like the basis of everything. Whether we look at the outstanding entrepreneurs, whether we look at the people, these in whatever area we look at, whether it is science, whether it is medicine, movie industry. I get amazed. People make fun of the movie stars, and I'm amazed by how much hard work they do and how they have constantly worked on themselves to be there. All of this, all flavors of success require mindset at the bottom of it. It's the foundation, and you need to constantly work on that. That's what I work with my coach for, because it is easy to get around, right? So because you're working on your goals, and if your mindset, you're constantly working, you will be able to see it in terms of the results that you are producing outside. So you're growing internally, but your results will be reflected outside. So there has to be some measurable, something by which we can measure how you're progressing. And for a lot of people, after a certain stage in career, like if we talk about people in the corporate or people in business, it is about, you know, measurement is by how quickly they are growing, or how much money they are making. There should be growth in that. So it's not that they're working towards that and that's the goal. It comes as a
Right.
byproduct of the growth that they are having internally. It is inevitable, it will come. And you can measure it by your success, how much you're recognized, how much you're visible, how. But the biggest thing, Jennifer, I feel, is you see it in the eyes of the people. That's how I measure it. I
Right.
personally, I go by intuition, and I can see it in the eyes of the people when I'm screwing up things, and I can see it when I'm doing well in their eyes. So their eyes act as my mirror, and whatever measurable criteria you want to set for yourself. I
Right.
don't like to set it up as external parameters, though those are important, but they come as a result of it. But what is
Right.
important is the respect that I see in the eyes of the people around me, because respect is one of my freedom, and respect is one of my highest values.
Right. Okay, so have there been any instances, where clients have shared any situation with you that you haven't encountered in the past, and initially maybe you were unsure how to proceed? How did you navigate that challenge and ultimately support your client? Maybe share an example of any one situation like this, and how did it unfold?
Oh, I don't think I'll be able to share those examples because they are really complex and
Mm.
the world would not want to know about it, but sometimes I
Okay.
can tell you, behind successful executives, there's a whole
Uh-huh.
mess. Sometimes, we don't get to know it because we are seeing the success that is happening, but behind that, there's a complete mess happening in their lives. And sometimes it is too complex that sometimes, after talking to an individual, I just calm them down, and then after keeping the phone, I just hold my head and I'm like, what do I do to help this person? This person has trusted me. This person has shared
Mhm.
this with me. So first thing
Right.
that I have learned is curiosity over judgment. Not to ever, a coach can never judge anybody for
Right.
the situation they are in, but they have been really complex problems. But let me think about something that I can talk about. Okay, so there was this guy who was on site, was
Mhm.
sent by a service provider company on site, and he was in a huge problem, like sandwiched between his service company, and the client manager. And I would, see him daily being bogged down by both. People were dumping deadlines on him. He would not have a voice in the meetings. He would be second guessing himself. Like, so much pressure was there. He was working long
Mhm.
hours, working on weekends, and still he was not getting the results. And people were like literally, all over him. In addition to that, the service company was sending him emails every 2 weeks. So there was this process in the company where every 2 weeks, every fortnight, an email will
Right.
come and it would be, we'll send you back. It's time to go back to offshore.
Mhm.
That was, so it was a real situation where visa and all comes into picture. It is something which is not in the
Right.
control of the coaches. Anyway, so this work person said, this person is from IIT. That's where he has an education. He did his education, and he was like, I'm feeling so powerless in my life. Not even my job is in my hands. I'm at the
Right.
mercy of a visa which can be taken away any minute, you know.
Mm,
And my children, everybody is in this country. So he was based out of Australia, in this country for the last 4.5 years. I do not want to go back. My children have literally
mm,
grown up here, and I don't want to go, but I don't know how to deal with this situation. In that case, working with that person on his mindset, because he was beaten
mm,
up from all sides, defeated from all sides, health also severe challenges, and not having power in life, not having control on the work that he was delivering, being bombarded from all sides with different kinds of stuff. So working on his mindset, helping him get into a place where he could get back his confidence, his
mm.
courage, and the first job that he applies for, he gets that. Sorry, not he didn't apply for a job. He was picked up from LinkedIn. This is what I
Mhm.
say. Jobs walk to the people when they take care, when
Right.
they take ownership, and when they are shining, and when they are not scared to put themselves out. So he started putting himself out on LinkedIn, sharing things, So I guided him through the process. And in 4 weeks, he was able to attract an opportunity which literally walked to him, had an interview, and he got 53% more than what that company was paying him.
Oh,
Got rid
yeah.
of it, visa, everything got resolved, everything was
Uh-huh.
taken care of. This was amazing. And then he worked there, and the contract there came to an end. Then he was again picked up from LinkedIn for a job at 150% more than what he was making. Now, I'm telling this 53%, 150%, because it is measurable. You can see
Right.
the growth journey that he did. But this was because despite being beaten up by life, despite all that happened, taking a hit on his confidence, he was able to get back in the space that he was when he did his education. That same thing, his expression, everything came back. And even though he was looking for a job for the past 2.5 years, he
Mhm.
couldn't clear any of that. He cleared it in first go. The second job, by the way, when he walked into the room, he
Mhm.
came up with a position which was higher than what he was. So he went in for the position of a test manager, came out with the position of a program test manager, and that
Oh,
was,
that's
amazing.
that's amazing. Yes. All right. So, Shilpa, okay, we know about your accolades, your journey, your achievements, and these wonderful success stories. Now, let me just shift gears to move to the personal side of life. Yeah. So, you are a mom and a wife, and I love that you've added it in your headline on LinkedIn. Um, but we do not know much about Shilpa as a mom and a wife. Would you like to share a little something with us?
Yeah. I mean, I would keep that as my core identity. If I can put mom and wife on the top, I would put it, because it's such an integral part of me. Um, I believe this is the real win that I have created in life. The joy which is there in our home. Because when I started this journey, Jennifer, I was just a caring mom. I was just a mom, like all moms are, very caring, very loving. But I had no identity other than that. When I started working on my identity, and when I murdered my mediocrity and stepped into my best game, I'm so grateful that happened, because the way my children started looking at me, it became very different. Like I said, I always look in the eyes of the people and I can figure out what is happening inside. So their eyes changed, the way they look, the way their friends started looking at me, it changed. And it has been it has been such a wonderful journey, because I decided I'll never walk it alone. I'll walk it with my partner, I'll walk it with couple, I'll walk it with the girls. And this has enabled us to become, on the journey of power couple, power family, because there's an inherent joy which is there. It's not that we don't have setbacks, we don't have failures, we do have it. But there's always something that we can figure out together, right? So it feels like I'm with my best army, and that's why I feel so joyful about it. Now talking about partner, like being wife, couple, I don't know how much you know, but couple has been my biggest support in life. Or when I was small, I think I grew up, even though I was a school topper in the later part of my, after 11, 12, I topped my school and all that. I grew up second guessing myself, doubting myself, and I felt that there was nothing amazing. So I was like very
Mhm.
average looking. So I'll comb hair like this, like I will have a pony. I had this thick glasses, and I somehow used to look like this. And I grew up thinking that I was not beautiful. There was nothing amazing about me. Um, they like I felt one in a crowd. That's what it was. And I think when Kapil came to my life, he was the first person who said, "You are a woman of substance." And that is, I feel, I got wings after my marriage, and constantly uplifting. I think it has been a great game that we have played together in the journey of life, and it gets better,
Mhm.
better with each day.
I think that's what's important because you are here on this earth and you are going to live your entire life with your partner. And if you have that support from them, that's the most important. After I grew up, after I met my husband, um, he in his own way showed me what beauty lies within me. And when I say lies within me, it just doesn't mean the qualities that I possess. He showed me the beauty that externally too I had. And it was a small gesture, but it made quite a difference to boost my confidence and make me feel good. He he got these pictures of me. I had taken few selfies. Whatever I may think about my beauty, but I do like clicking selfies, and I did, and they were good enough. And he blew them up into like big pictures, framed them up, and gifted it
So
to me.
sweet.
So yeah, these small gestures our partners do for us boosts us and help us, achieve further things, I would say, because when you are confident, when you're courageous, you feel that you can conquer the world. So thanks for sharing
Absolutely.
that.
And
And
I feel that
yeah,
confidence is what makes you beautiful. It's not that my
yes,
physical features changed or anything. Nothing changed. I
right,
was that girl who was average looking. But I think the joy, the confidence that you get, and I'm not against the people who decide to be single. They
right,
are doing
right.
great, and I really applaud them for that. But having a partner who has helped you discover the inner beauty, just like you said, and doing little gestures which make you feel like the most beautiful woman in the world,
Yeah.
because you know that you're authentic. I think it's a great feeling. And I have a lot of gratitude for Kapil for doing that for me.
Yeah, yeah. I think that beauty just when you feel that within yourself, you have that mindset shift and it just shows in your eyes. It glows, your eyes will sparkle, and that's what brings out the beauty. You'll have a bigger smile, you'll have your eyes sparkling, and that just shows to the world.
True.
So I will quickly move. We are on the close of time. I'm going to ask just two more questions. One, an off-guard fun question. So I'm going to ask you to pick a number between 1 to 30. I have a list of questions. Based on your number, I'm going to ask you that question. So go ahead and pick a random number.
Okay, three.
All right. Okay, so for number three, I have here, if you were stranded on a deserted island and could have just three items with you, what would they be?
On an island. Okay, I will have water, probably coconut water. I'm remembering that movie. I don't know if you remember coconut water. So I can be alive on that for years, maybe. Uh, uh, that's a tough question, isn't it? If
No.
I can have my partner, I'll have him. But if I can't, then probably a bright piece of cloth. It has to be intelligent also, the answer. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, uh, coconut water, a piece of a bright cloth which I can wave and ask for help, and maybe a laser which I can
Hmm.
shine shine and show, those kind of
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Nice, nice, wonderful. Okay, so just to wrap it up, Shilpa, so what is the, if you have to give an advice, just one advice today, to individuals who are seeking to elevate their careers and to achieve greater fulfillment and success in their professional lives, what would it be?
one piece of advice that I would give is, look, a lot of times we talk about action. Action is the only way to get out of a situation. And I've been thinking about it. And action, massive actions, these words sometimes, they look too big, especially when we are in a difficult situation, when life is not going well, our careers are not going well. So an alternative that I feel is much more powerful is to show up. Show up every single day. Show up means that you are showing up consistently even when things are not working. And I
Right.
believe that if somebody can show up every single day despite things failing and failing and failing, things will eventually start working. So it is not about you being the best, it is about you being consistent in showing up. And with that, you can literally beat anything in the world and carry yourself through the doors of success.
Right. Wonderful. Consistency is the key here. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you so much for your time, Shilpa. Those were wonderful, wonderful insights and success stories that you've shared with us. So, a lot of knowledge here, and really grateful. And thank you once again for joining us on our podcast.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Really a big gratitude for inviting me.
As we come to the end of our episode, I hope you found our discussion on the coaching industry, understanding the various niches, and selecting the right coach insightful and valuable. Remember, coaching is not just about finding someone to guide you, it's about finding the right person who can resonate with your needs and can help you unlock your full potential. Whether you're seeking to murder mediocrity in your career, enhance your leadership skills, or embark on a journey of self discovery, there's always a coach out there with the expertise and approach suited to your unique journey. We would love to hear your thoughts on this episode and the season as a whole. So please get typing in the comment section below. And don't forget to spread the wisdom by sharing this podcast with someone who could use a boost. Thank you for subscribing to Jennifer's Crossroad Conversations. Until next time, keep exploring perspectives and inspiring growth.